Baby, choosing you as my business partner was not a mere decision born of logic or strategy. It was born of trust, of something sacred that extends far beyond boardrooms and briefcases. When I looked into your eyes and saw that unshakable fire, that rare combination of grace and grit, I knew you weren't just a woman made for love. You were born for leadership. The empire I've built with my hands and my name needed not just a queen by my side, but a force, a partner who would understand my silence in crowded meetings and translate my vision without words. I chose you, not because it was easy, but because you were the only one who could carry this dream like it was your own. I remember the first time I brought you into a confidential meeting, the room shifted. Men twice your age lowered their voices, eyes widened at your confidence, and you spoke as if you'd been born among royalty and rulers. You weren't intimidated by the weight of legacy, you wore it like it belonged to you. That day, you weren't just the woman I loved. You became my equal in ambition, my confidant in commerce, and my fiercest defender in the shadows of negotiation. You didn't walk behind me, baby, you stood beside me, and that changed everything. There were skeptics, of course. Whispers that I was blinded by emotion, that love was clouding my business sense. But what they didn't see were the nights you stayed up learning the intricacies of royal trade laws, the way you studied economic trends like a scholar preparing for war. They never saw you crying silently after a rough negotiation, only to wake up stronger the next morning, with plans more powerful than before. I chose you because you're resilient, brilliant, and you never settled for less than excellence. You became more than just a partner, you became the heartbeat of our mission. You've handled billion-dirham deals with the calm of a desert moon, and challenged ancient protocols with the fire of a queen who knows her worth. You stood in front of royal investors, your voice firm, your gaze unwavering, and made them believe in visions they never thought possible. Baby, you turned our venture into something sacred, not just a business, but a legacy built on love, strategy, and shared sacrifice. You don't wear a crown made of gold, but one carved out of effort, intellect, and sleepless nights. And behind closed doors, when the lights dim and the noise fades, you're still the woman who places her hand on my chest and reminds me why I started all this. You don't let power define us, you remind me of purpose. In you, I found a rare alignment between heart and empire. Together, we're not just making profits, we're rewriting the story of what it means to build an empire with love at its center. I chose you, baby, because no one else could have walked this path beside me without losing themselves in the shadows. There are days when the pressure consumes me, when the weight of Dubai's future sits on my shoulders like a crown of thorns. But then you walk in, radiating calm, speaking solutions before I even voice the problems. You don't need my title to command respect. You've earned it, carved it, etched it into every space you enter. I don't just trust you with decisions, I trust you with my name, my empire, and the legacy of our future children. When you speak in boardrooms, there's music in your tone, precision in your words, and passion in your delivery. You don't seek approval, you command presence. There's nothing performative about your leadership, baby. It's real, raw, and wrapped in the kind of authenticity this world is starving for. Men follow numbers, but I follow you. Because while they chase currency, we're creating a future that generations will call visionary. People think the royal blood running through my veins gave me everything. But what they don't know is that it gave me everything except the one thing I truly needed. Someone who could match my fire without being consumed by it. And then you came. You didn't just survive the flame, you became the spark that ignited a new era. You don't walk in my shadow. You cast your own, and I walk proudly beside it. That's what makes you the perfect business partner. We've taken risks together that others were too afraid to attempt. We've failed behind closed doors and emerged with better blueprints and bolder ideas. Every failure became a lesson, and every victory a shared triumph. Baby, this isn't just about business. It's about believing in someone so deeply that you hand them not just access to your accounts, but access to your soul. And you've handled both with grace. Even when surrounded by leaders from around the globe, your voice is the one I listen for. You keep me grounded, remind me when to slow down, when to push harder, and when to trust the process. You've become my compass in a world where everything moves too fast, too greedily. You remind me of legacy, not just luxury. And that's the kind of partnership empires are built on. It was never about titles or tradition. It was about building something real with someone who understands both the weight and worth of a shared dream. You never asked for a percentage, you asked for purpose. You didn't want to be part of the business to prove something to the world. You wanted it because you knew we were better together, stronger in unity, and unstoppable in alignment. Our business meetings often end with laughter and soft glances. Our planning sessions are filled with coffee, strategy, and dreams whispered between kisses. We may sign contracts by day, but by night, we seal promises with love. That's what makes us different. That's why I chose you, not just because you could help me run a business, but because you could run a life beside me, with the same ferocity, the same faith. So baby, when I say I've chosen you as my business partner, understand this isn't about spreadsheets or status. It's about soul. I chose you because this world needs more women like you in power, soft yet fierce, gentle yet strategic, in love and in legacy. And as long as I breathe, every empire I build will bear your fingerprints and carry your name beside mine. And when the day comes that the next generation takes over, they'll look back not just at what we built, but how we built it. They'll see a love that wasn't just romantic, but revolutionary. They'll see a woman who wasn't given power, but took it, molded it, and used it for good. And they'll know, Sheikh Hamdan didn't just choose a queen to love. He chose a queen to build a kingdom with. And as we continue this journey, I see how seamlessly our lives have merged, boardrooms and bedrooms, conference calls and candlelit dinners. It's a balance few ever find, and yet, with you, it feels effortless. When the world sees us, they might see a royal couple. But behind the scenes, they don't see the hours you spend poring over documents, the quiet way you remind me of our values when ambition tempts shortcuts, or the way you insist that integrity must be our loudest signature in every deal we make.